what great people call the will. That is the creative spark in us. Of course, we too believe that we are having a strong will. What we have in the name of will is only false will, and it is what we call intention. The result is we have much tension inside with many intentions. So, we should have a let out. We try with medicines, with tranquilizers, and with psychologues and advisors. But the tension is there because intention is there. A spark is to make its lightning brilliance from within ourselves. Then what the great scientists of the ancient days called will, which is the creative aspect of the human being, which is essentially divine and which is the gift of the divine to the human being, will be there. And then we begin to use it. Since then only we will have the cross inside, not only outside. And then we begin to use the will. And there is a science which leads us to the will. Only when the will made its first appearance to us. Until then we are not inclined to look to that science. That science leads us safely to the will and gives us the capacity of not only using our will, but also getting enlightened by the spark of the will and gradually approaching that spark and getting fully illumined with that spark. And the next step is we are absorbed into this spark, not physically, but what we were previously will be absorbed into the spark. And since then what we are is the spark itself. But the body and everything will be intact, to be seen by your wife, husband or children. No visible change is there to the outward people, but instead of the previous older yourself, it is the spark that is existing and the older yourself no more exists. But every minute, whenever it is required, the older yourself will come out as a servant and work as an instrument of the spark through your senses and the vehicles of the body, and then once again instantaneously disappear into the spark. So, for the one who wants the science, for the one whose spark of will is awakened, for the one who makes a proposal for himself, there is the starting point and there is a science, and that science is called yoga, the eightfold path of yoga, the eighth step of which is called Samadhi. It is a Sanskrit word and it means attainment. And the instructions given in the eightfold path are not many. There is not much to learn in the subject. There are only very few simple, direct rules about which much philosophy need not be made. But what is required is to follow it and do accordingly